Hello, on a glorious, glorious morning. Hottest day of the year, potentially, in sunny England. So today I'm talking again, actually, about 3 books, but I wouldn't call this a trilogy because I think there might be more, and I don't know if they were written in that way. So I'm not going to call it a trilogy, but there happen to be, at the moment, 3 books that are all very loosely connected. You don't have to read them together, but I think you should, so I'm going to tell you should. So, the one I've just read, the newest of the 3, is called The Happiest Marriage in the History of the World, and it's by Patrice Locke. And if you haven't read any of her stuff, you absolutely must, because she's wonderfully good. And this book is the sort of sequel to the book Exit Signs, which I reviewed before. It's the same couple sometime on. And then in the middle is a book called Fresh Start, which isn't obviously linked, but the characters in that come up in The Happiest Marriage. So I would read them in that order: Exit Signs, Fresh Start, Happiest Marriage, because I just think, personally, I like to know who's who. So they're all fantastic in every way. What I like about the way Patrice writes is it's very, very, it flows. So you just read it really fast, and it's got an amazing tempo to it that just makes you want to finish. It's one of those books you just want to read right the way through. It's also very funny. She writes beautifully. Her characters are always so perfect, not in their characteristics, but in the way that she's rounded them, formed them. They're just wonderful. You can completely visualise them. You can imagine what they're going to say next. You can imagine how they're going to respond to things. And she gives all of them little quirks that run through, so they're repeated. You know, you really know them, and some of them are quite integral to the story. They really help build an atmosphere in what she writes. They're very warm books, and there's a great energy to them. They're always about moving forward and moving on. They're always about change, and the complexities of that. Why we sometimes don't want that. They all have these sort of threads, I suppose, and I think they're really powerful stories, full of fun and lots of humour. You will definitely laugh. I did shed a little tear in this one, but I don't know if that was hormonal or just the wonderful beauty of what was happening, but it's lovely. It's a really lovely book, perfect summer reading. If anyone's going on holiday, take 3 Patrice Lockes with you. That will probably only keep you quiet for a day, actually, because you'll just read them. The Happiest Marriage I particularly liked because I think it can be quite difficult to carry on characters and to sort of take them further, because often when we write a book we have, a very sort of set thing that we want to happen to them, and I think to take that further can be quite a challenge. The book isn't about them per se. There's a sort of another character that's quite key to it all. But I think it's a lovely story because it's very normal in lots of ways. So their lives are not at all normal. And yeah, I think there's things all of us can relate to around, if you're in a relationship for a long time, around loss and grief, and around change and how to sort of embrace change, which I think for a lot of people is quite a difficult thing to do. They're just lovely. I can't really recommend them enough. I definitely would read them in order. You don't have to, it won't matter, but things like that matter to me, so that's what I'm advising. I hope that there's more to come. I want to find out. I've really kind of grown fond of these characters, and I want to know what happens next. For quite a few of them, and I think there's room for that, and I think there's room for spin-offs. I hope Patrice is listening. I think there's room for spin-offs, so some of the side characters, I think, could easily have books of their own. Hint, hint, get on with it. I'd like to read them. Thank you.